All right. So um, when we're doing these things, and again, we're talking about focus this month because we're on that qualifying month. We're talking about ikigai, and again, the Japanese concept. And once again, what is that? What's that Japanese concept? Again, ikigai is a Japanese concept. It's a reason for being. Now, I like a lot of Japanese. I talked about it this morning, but I like kaizen, constant improvement. That's where a lot of the Six Sigma comes from. Black belt, yellow belt, green belt. The processes, if you're familiar with that, a lot of factoring and factories and manufacturing utilize, kaizen, Six Sigma. But also another Japanese, you know, um, concept is ikigai. And when I heard this again, the four circles, but when they all interlap, they come together. That's the main purpose. But again, um, the first one is what you love, your passion. Number two, what you're what you're good at. Okay, that's your vocation. All right. Number three, what the world needs. That's your mission. And you think about what you can be paid for, your passion. Now think about that. Think about this. What you love. Now, if you love what you do, and I love hearing Lisa out in the field. She's like, I love what I do. I'll be honest with you. I know Lisa. She said that when she was a teacher. She was a teacher. Said, I love what I do, dealing with the kids and everything, because I know she loved Lisa, loved the kids. All right, but she had a good time. Um, also what you're good at, your vocation, your job. What are you good at it? If you're not good at it, it's okay, but you just want to practice, get better. What the world needs, your mission. And if you're doing something and you feel that you're helping the world in what you're doing, um, that right there, that's phenomenal. What your mission, and then what you can be paid for. Now think about it. If what you do, you you love it, it's your mission. I mean, you're good at it, and you get paid for it. That's your ikigai. When all four of the circles come together. Anybody got any questions on that? Any comments? Now I know it sounds crazy, right? Because nobody has any comments, but I mean, nobody loves door knocking. I'll be honest with you, nobody loves it. All right, but guess what? If I know right now that I'm going to get paid for that, and I'm going to get compensated, then I'm going to get very good at going out the door. Because what do we need? What do we need in this business?
Leads.
Leads. We need somebody to talk to. You don't know enough people to make the money you need to make every month.
I got a comment.
Okay.
Um, a couple of days ago, talking about nobody. You said nobody likes door knocking, but I'm gonna tell you this: once it does get in your shanana or your ikigai, or you got your ikigai all lined up, we got a call from Benita Taylor, and she said, "I am excited about going to see people at the door." So something has shifted to where I don't want to. She never said she didn't want to go to the door, but for people that don't necessarily find that thrilling, once you do it over and over again and you get good at it, it becomes like, oh my, I say you get a bug. It's like I can't stop now. It's like it's catching. It's you and her words were perfect. She said, I just need to tell y'all I'm excited about going to see these people at their front door. And she was all excited about it and everything like that. So she's getting ready. She's in the car right now. I was talking to her earlier this morning, and she said she's in the car right now, get ready to go hit the door. So she's on the call, but she's in the field. So I just want to give her a shout out and say, you know what? That when you get it, that ikigai is real, y'all. Because Kyle, the way Kyle put it, it's technical and everything like that. But really, once that bug gets you, once it bites you, and everything is aligned, like I said, you feel good about what you're doing. You know you're helping people, and you're getting paid doing it. That's win, 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 win. Okay, so I just wanted to add that in there because everybody, like I said, that might not be thrilling at first, but going to that door, watch what happens.
Thank you, Lisa. You're right. I couldn't believe that I was excited. I said I got to tell Kyle this because I'm never a door knocker, but you realize that's what you have to do. And so I'm just, if you can't get out, I'm just getting into it. You know, that's where I need to be. But I'm trying to get in the door the first time, like Stacy did the other day on her call. That's my next goal.
Yeah, and I'm gonna actually have to talk about that. But one of the things that's key about this is because remember, I took some leads. I had a challenge for myself. And I remember when I was early in the business, I worked. We were fortunate here in Charlotte. Charlotte's got almost 1 million people in surrounding area, whatever. So I didn't really have to go far. I don't have to go far to go to work. When I first got started, I used to go out to Rockingham, an hour and a half away, just so I wouldn't be close to home. But then after I kind of got this thing, for the last few years, I really hadn't had to work hard. I hadn't had to do anything. I could just stay within the Charlotte market and basically get leads in Mecklenburg County. Well, when UBI came in, that whole thing changed because UBI brought a whole bunch of other people like Bill Worley and his wife Cheryl. They moved here from Maryland to help build this area. Vince King and them, came back and he's got some teams or whatever, and they were working this area. So a lot of this stuff happened where I remember there should be 500 direct mail leads at all times sitting in there just waiting for us in Mecklenburg County. Now, I got to call, hey, we got any leads in Mecklenburg County? And we should be 500. We had to pick of the choice. Now that all these other people come in and UBI has brought people from all over, Andy McCrimmons is coming in here. I know people from Jersey that are working here. Howard Medesko's team is working. They moved from Jersey coming down here. So a lot of people came here, saw what was going on, this opportunity in North Carolina. And UBI, this became the largest producing, state for them. Now think about it. They had South Carolina, Georgia, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, all these other places. But when they acquired North Carolina, it became number one for them. And so then guess what? The leads kind of went away. So now I got to work a little bit. So now I got to work, maybe a little bit further. 3 different counties, Gaston County and Union County or Cabarrus County. Thank goodness we got some others we can rock and roll, but now we're also working New Jersey. But Lisa is focusing on Guilford County, which is further away. So I mean, that's an hour away. So we're going an hour to work some leads. Gastonia is 45 minutes away. But guess what? Again, going out to grab leads, and I grabbed these leads. I said, look, you know what? My first time I got some leads in Gascon, I had 10 leads and didn't get a sale. Did not get a sale. I was so disgusted. $333, not one sale. I was upset, y'all. I said, man, I ain't working Gaston County no more. But now, years later, I came back and said, look, you know what? I'm going to go down here. I don't care what in the world. I'm going to go down and get a sale. And I went down there, got a sale. Guess what? The guy called me back because not only did I get a sale, but I serviced him. I serviced him, took care of him. He had a policy he was trying to get surrendered. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to do it. I turned around, took care of it for him, got it surrendered. He got his check in the mail a couple of weeks ago. Now he get his check, but I sent everything to him that I did. I faxed up to him, got everything done for him, took care of it for him. And then we went down there. I took Lisa with me yesterday. That's when I took her down there with me. But I wanted her to see, look, Lisa, this is what happens when you got that sha na na, as you call it. I call it ikida. But I wanted to talk about what she saw and what we went through. And then after that, I took her there to introduce her to him. And now it looks like not only is he going, did he bump up, he bumped up. He had already made his first payment, but he bumped up, got additional. Remember, this is the 80-year-old guy I was telling you about that I thought was going to be modified. He's paying $110 now. And basically, here it is. It was a lead I went to see. Now, tell everybody what you saw, what you what you recognize, Lisa.
We basically stepped back in time, rolled up, and I said, "Oh my goodness!" And Kyle had already told me.
Hold on. He said, "Are you going to put my car in over there?"
Yeah, I was like,
driving her car.
I was like, "You driving my car up in there?" Look to my right, Confederate flag hanging off the door of one of the trailers. And I said, okay, here we are. So obviously the people he already dealt with were fine because they bought from him. So we were going back because he wanted to increase. But then when I met, when it, and I'm not kidding you guys. I don't know if you ever watched the show Beverly Hillbillies. This was the without, not the mansion, before they left the mansion, before they got to the mansion. Dog, a big old dog was next door, and the son sitting outside smoking. I was like, what in the world? And I said, if I told Kyle this, I said, if I was by myself, I probably would not have gone to that door. Because first of all, you know, it just I can't even paint the picture of what I saw, but it was like we stepped back in time because I would have. And the reason why I say I wouldn't have gone to the door by myself is because I looked at it like they could probably, you know, antebellum, you know. They might try to capture me and, you know, put me back in time or something. You know, these are the thoughts. This is how it looked. Okay. And then me being by myself, I'd be like, I don't want to take. I watched that movie Antebellum. I'm like, I wouldn't have been by myself doing that. And so then when I went inside to meet him, no shirt on, and he, like Kyle said, he's bent over walking, and you know, you would automatically think he was modified, but he wasn't. And you know, very nice people. But you know, that was something. That was something. And very interesting.
Roy, you got something?
No, I can understand because I've been up in the mountains and I've seen it for myself. So yeah, it's all true.
Yeah, they do buy. You just got to hit the right one, but they do buy. And
That's the key. You got to hit the right ones.
right, yep, they do buy. And like I said, but basically, you know, I went there, and not only did I remember, I serviced them also too. So we got the sale, serviced them, and it took care of it. And you know, then after that, you know, I got Lisa because Lisa has a magnet. So I said, hey, look, take this magnet, put it on your fridge. He called me several times, but hey, put this magnet on the refrigerator. So when you look at, hey, I'm your agent. So we put it on that refrigerator, we were good to go. But I just want you guys to understand. So understand this. Not sure if you heard that, but again, your profession, right? So do you really take this opportunity as a profession? Do you really take this opportunity? A lot of times, again, I say, I don't really think people are understanding how powerful it is what you literally have. You know, I mean, this is a profession. That's the reason why we say final expense specialist, because you are a specialist. And you know, Lisa and I sat out yesterday. We had an event at our church. Matter of fact, Roy was there, but we did the Park Fest. But we had our you know, we had our shirts on and everything. We had our Lincoln Heritage, and one of the ladies that was there, she was like, "Oh man, I need to talk to you guys." So Lisa and I went yesterday, and we just serviced a client. Again, if they weren't our client, but the lady said, I've been trying to catch up with people. And Lisa, do me a favor, go ahead and share with everybody what we did yesterday or what you did. But basically, we didn't get a sale, but we serviced. Who we
You know
serviced yesterday?
which one?
Who'd you service yesterday?
I'm trying to bring it to
They
my
went to our
remembrance.
church.
Ghost our church.
We were over the
Hmm.
house. Oh my goodness. She sings in the choir.
I'm doing okay. See, you got just give me a little bit more. You know, I'm doing a million things and we talking to a million people. Um, yeah, okay, yes. The young lady that sings in the choir at our church. She was written by another agent with Lincoln Heritage. And she saw us at the event, like Kyle just said, at the church that they had a Saturday ago. And she said, oh, I got Lincoln Heritage. I've had them since, you know, I've had them for a long time. And she said, I need to talk to y'all because I need to understand some stuff, you know. And I said, okay, well, we set appointment, went over there yesterday. The agent who wrote her is still
Yeah,
active,
but
but
hold on,
she,
hold on.
oh,
You're skipping this
oh
stuff
Lord, what I skip?
because yeah, you just say okay, we went over there. You did. What did you do before we went over there?
Oh,
Yeah, they need to understand what's the process
oh,
before you went
okay.
over there.
So before I went over there, I called Lincoln Heritage to get all the information on all the policies in her home. I put together a spreadsheet so that she could see actually what was going on with her policy, who was the beneficiary, how much she was paying, the policy number, everything in the spreadsheet so that it would be plain and simple for her. And so basically I was able to take that over there and just hand her that and go over it with her. And she discovered some things as she wanted to, one of her children's policies, she wasn't the owner on. And she was like, I'm the owner on the other ones. I don't know what happened here. And I said, okay, well, all we have to do is do this policy. You got to do the change of ownership form, which is in your back office. I took that over to her. I said, you sign it, have him sign it, and mail it back to Lincoln Heritage, and that'll be done. So she didn't understand about the FCGS. So the young lady who basically signed her up, she said, I tried to reach out to my agent. She knew the agent's name and everything like that. I'm not gonna put her on blast. Y'all know her too. But she said, she didn't call me. She hasn't called me back. And I said, okay, that's fine. She said, y'all my new agents, because we took the time to sit down and go over that with her. And she now has a better understanding. And, she had a husband that used to handle everything. So she said now she's having to understand how to handle stuff. She just didn't know anything because she let him handle everything like that. They're no longer together. So now she's having to take take the reins on the finances and whatever else is going on in the household. So she was very appreciative that we sat down and went over that with her and stressed the point of what she has about FCGS and making sure her daughter knows, or her loved one knows to make that phone call first if something happens. Stress that point. Ordered her new policies, ordered her new FCGS information, went over the little black book with her, just went
Okay, now
over.
hold on. Are you guys hearing this? That's servicing. I mean, Lisa's blowing through it. I mean, she's like bang, 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 bang. But that was work. You're not getting paid for any of that. How long did it take you to do all that?
Well, we were just in there talking too.
No, I'm talking about but putting all that together. How long did it take you just to put that together?
Oh yeah, probably about a half hour because I made sure I went back and checked things and, just make sure I got everything lined up for her so it make it easy for her to understand what she has.
Anybody got any questions on that? What Lisa did? I mean, putting that stuff together, making sure she got it, make sure she understood. I mean, we were over our house probably for about an hour. We were over our house for an hour. That's servicing your client. Let's get back to this. What you love, your passion, what you're good at, your vocation, what the world needs, your mission, what you can be paid for, your profession. Now, Lisa, I ain't finished with you. I just want people to understand that what you were doing. That's like, are you doing this for your clients? Are you just out there for commission breath, just trying to go get a sale? Because if you don't understand this part about what we're doing, you don't get it.
Right.
You don't understand the opportunities before. That wasn't a sale, but that was service. Why? Because that was a Lincoln Heritage client.
That's right.
And we had to take care of her, even
That's
though
right.
the other person was not doing it. And yes, she's a member of our church and everything and stuff like that. But now she knows, wow, these guys take care of business.
Right.
They didn't get paid anything for it. We need to make sure you understand that. You're not going to get paid for everything, but it's going to come back around.
Yeah.
Anybody get that? Any questions on what Lisa did? Any comments?
Yeah, guys, it's called it's something that I think everybody needs to understand. It's called planting the seed. You need to start planting seeds and sowing. They do grow. If you start planting those seeds, you'll be surprised what'll happen down the road. So if you start servicing, but that's the name of this business anyway. This is a service business, and once you start servicing the client, your referrals will go up. You ain't got to ask for referrals; they'll send them to you. So I do a lot of that. People call me. They're not even my clients. Call me, asking me questions, trying to find out policies. You just service them. And you ain't got to get paid for everything. But if you understand seed and sowing seed, it does come back to talk to you later. Those referrals will come without you even asking for them.
Right. We're out and about. We get a phone call. Boom. We get a phone call. Take care of something. Somebody say, hey, I got this policy. Hey, you need to talk to my insurance agent. And then after that, you get referred on that. Lisa ordered a new policy. We asked, your policy that? She was like this. What's that mean? What's that mean?
They don't know where it is.
They don't know where it's at. So what happens? Does your family know that you got a policy? Does your family know if something happens, God forbid, something happens to you? What are they going to do? They don't have a clue. All right, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to order you some new policies. Lisa ordered new policies, told her about the FCGS. She was like, what's that? She said, what's that? What's FCGS? She's had these policies and when?
And the first one was written in the husband and wife was written in 2014, and the children were written in 2021. And yeah, she didn't know anything about the FCGS. Nothing.
Didn't know where policies at. Didn't know anything about it.
No.
Lisa got information, said, and then the children were the owners of their own policy.
Well, she was the owner on two of them. One of them she don't know how it happened because she thought she was, you know, because she's the payer on all of them too. And this agent wrote up the whole household. I mean, nice, you know, but now where's the service? You know,
Yep, wrote the whole house up. What is it? Was it 4 policies?
4 policies.
4 policies. And not only that, came back around and sold some more. Came because Lee said the first time was in 2014.
Yeah.
Came back and sold them again in 2021.
Yeah.
So went back to it. So you got to say it. So remember, your profession. Do you enjoy this? Do you understand? Or are you just going out there for commission breath? Because if you're just going out there for, you just got to go out there and you got to basically see these clients. They are looking for what we have to offer. I'll say it again. Number one, what you love, your passion, what you're good at, your vocation, what the world needs, your mission, and what you can be paid for, your profession. Any questions? When you're doing all of this, you will find your ikigai. All right? Now, I want to ask you again, do you really take this opportunity as a profession? Do you really understand that this is the profession? Think about it. This is what really blows me away. We'll go to a college or university. We'll spend 4 years. We'll go into debt. Think about this. We'll go into debt for 4 years to come out, and then after that, basically now we're going to work for somebody because they told us that's what we're worth. But yet you could go, you could be 18 years old, no college, go get your insurance license, and wind up being a millionaire. Why? All you got to do is just go talk to people and share with them this opportunity. Yet we won't put in what we put in to go in debt, to go to college, get a student loan, do what we got to do, come out, credit cards, whatever, all kind of debt, and then taking a job. Yeah, you can get started with this for $500, your profession, and become a multi-millionaire. What is wrong with the way we think? How did they sell this dream to us to do this? And when we have this opportunity right here, yet you take this so lightly, so gradual. Yet we're going to see people that need what we have each and every day. And then we'll look at lead balance and say, oh my goodness, my lead balance is terrible. You need to have a high lead balance because that means you got people to go see and work these leads. Mm-hmm. Don't just go once, a little bit, whatever, stuff like that. Work the leads. Until they tell you, stop calling me. Until they tell you, I mean, I was at the front of the door, somebody, and they were like, no, I don't want anything. I knew they were prejudiced. I knew they didn't want, I didn't care. I'm like, you're going to tell me no 4 times before I get out of here. I paid $33 for this lead. What do you mean? No, I don't want anything. Why did you fill this out? Is this your handwriting? Now I'm starting to get a little bit absurd. I'm like, look, is this your handwriting? This is your, yeah, that's me. Is this your phone number? Oh, I don't want anything. You filled this out. Why did you fill this out? What was the reason? Can you tell me? Oh, I don't want anything. Is it me? Is it because I'm standing here? I'll ask him, hey, look, did I do something to you? Oh, no, you didn't do anything. Well, what did you fill this out for? Because I got to give you this information. It's free. Now, if you want or not, I don't care. But guess what? I got to get you the information. My manager said, hey, look, I got to get this to you. So I'm here. I drove all the way out here. I'm giving you this information. You got 5 minutes? That's how I am about it. I'm that crazy. Now, if you don't like me, you're going to have to get past me to get this information because I'm giving it to you. If you don't like the person delivering it to you, fine. I don't care. Now, I can do it right now. We can do it over the phone. And then what happens, I get home, I'll give it to Lisa. Lisa's got a pretty voice. So I give it to her. I tell her, ever since she was little, I tell her she got a pretty voice over the phone. So let them talk to her. But whatever. Do something with your leads. If they're not working for you, flip around with each other. You guys split them up with each other. Hey, look, hey, you get the sale, let's split it. Whatever. But focus, make it happen. Everybody got that? Any questions? All right, real quick. Okay, I want you guys to find your ikigai. I want you to find it, and I want you to find it in this business. Do whatever it takes to find your ikigai. What is it? What is your love, your passion? You gotta love this. All right. As you can see right now, look at Lisa doing 15 minutes. She loves this. All right. We got it. We got an event. Look at this. We're going. Let me share with you just what our schedule's been like so far. All right. Monday, turn around. We had what is that? Basically, we went door knocking. All right. Went to what is it? Went to Greensboro. Yesterday, we had a manager's call. Manager's call. We turned around, went out, saw, took care of clients, service clients, whatever. Then went out and basically got a couple sales. Today, preparation, whatever. Lisa bought some stuff, whatever. We're doing an event on tomorrow. Roy, you're coming to that, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, so we're coming. So Lisa was trying to figure out what's going to be the best way. It's called a munch and learn. So basically, what we did is she got some spaghetti. So we're gonna be serving spaghetti, and then she got an email from the people. They're so happy they were coming because we're gonna be feeding their people. But it's gonna be a bunch of people. Now, if you want somebody to come out, bring some food. All right. So bring some food. They're gonna be good to go. Roy, can you bring the drinks?
How much?
I don't know what. I don't know. What is it? What is it? What do you say? We can talk about it afterwards. But Lisa's got the spaghetti. We put it together and everything. But we'll be there. We'll talk about it afterwards. But I don't know what, lemonade and sweet tea or something. That's it. And after that, if we have to do something else, we'll buy something else. I'll go make a run. But just that's what we're doing. But we're going to meet some people that are there, and we're doing an event today. We're getting with Bill and Cheryl Wormley. We're going to meet with them. And basically, this morning, I had to get up, do the call. I was up 6 o'clock, got my workout in, got my training in, turn around, I had to do the 8 o'clock call, prepare for this call. As soon as we get off of this, turn around. Basically, I got to mail Will's plaque out to him. So Will's plaque, congratulations, he's going to get his plaque. And he got his 250 leads. Stacy, make sure let him know that. I sent those leads to him yesterday, all right? A leads. And then also, too, Cheryl and them, we're going to meet with them, talk about how we can work together collectively, build this Charlotte market. And then after that, Lisa and I, we hitting the doors. We got some leads we're going to hit. Right now, we got, 15 leads. I mean, this is our ikigai. This is what we're doing. This is what we do. We love it. And we're going to hit these leads. That's what we do. If you're not moving like that, you probably ain't doing enough. You probably don't have enough leads. Make sense? I mean, but what are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow, what we got tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the event, and then we're headed to Columbia.
Right. Then we're going to Columbia. We're going to spend the night in Columbia to be there for the event on Friday. And then give away the car, be down there, UBI, Dr. Wilson, everything, stuff like that. Ted Jr. not going to be there. He's in Africa. But then after that, now think about this. Ted Jr. a couple months ago, he was in Italy. Last week, he was on a cruise. Today, he's in Africa.
Ted kicking it.
I don't know if y'all understand it. His organization did $1 million in business, $1.1 million. And are you guys getting this? That could be your life too. So if we're struggling trying to get things done or whatever, all we gotta do is go see some people.
Can I ask a question? I'm texting somebody right now who's wanting to increase their policy. They have policy, the husband and wife does have policies with us. But they also have Occidental. We've got Stacy on the Occidental expert on here. They said apparently my Occidental was a universal and I needed to increase by $10 to keep it going to where by the time I needed it, it was there. So she's asking, and it would have increased again. I just don't know when because I had it for years. So she's like trying to now get out of that and do more Lincoln Heritage. And I told her we call her later and talk to her about it. So Stacy, are you familiar with that? That's a universal with Occidental?
Yeah, tell her to cut that thing off. It's going to end at 72.
It's going to end at 72.
Yeah, tell her to get, tell her just go cancel that. And they're going to need more insurance at 72. So, and that thing, it doesn't, that Occidental UL doesn't, the cash value sucks. So
Cash value sucks. Okay.
yeah, it's just a cheap way to get a whole life policy. But if she lives to 72, she's still gonna have to get insurance because it's gonna end.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And that's a very good point Stacy said right there, because I don't know if you guys caught that. That UL, Universal Life, is a whole life policy.
Mm-hmm.
But Stacy, if you could break it down a little bit more, because some people are saying, oh, they said they got whole life. And remember, the client doesn't know this. Just like
Right.
this client didn't realize it's going to go away at 72.
So a UL, history of a UL is that's what they sold you guys back in the days when you were at a job. Um, it was so cheap. It's a very cheap whole life policy. But you know, a lot of agents are selling it because it's cheap and people are going to buy it, but they don't tell them, hey, at 72, this policy is going to end. That's how ULs are designed. It's like an IUL is designed the same way. At 66, you take the cash as income. So you start getting paid every month with an IUL at age 66. That's why old folks can't get if somebody come to you and you over 50 or 45 and they say IUL, it's not going to benefit you unless you got a whole bunch of money. So they got this UL that's not an IUL that's cheaper, and a lot of business, a lot of jobs have ULs, and that's what they offer their clients. But now the agents were selling a bunch of those in the past, and I just had a client that had one, and the agent, they didn't know that at age 72 it was going to end. It's a whole life policy. It's a permanent life policy. It's a whole life permanent policy. You can get more. It's just they just made it cheaper, and it doesn't have a great cash value, and it's not a participating policy, but it is a whole life policy. So when you guys hear ULs, say, listen, ma'am, that thing's going to end at 72, and you're going to need a life insurance policy. It's designed that way. So think about it. A lot of folks don't know that IULs end at 66, and you start taking payments.
Wow.
So that's why when you're young, like I did a while back, a long time ago, I did a quote for a young man. He was 21. They great for young folks, IULs, because he'd have retired with 1.6 million. He could start taking payments. So the UL is the same thing, except for you don't start taking payments or your cash value is low. But that's why it's so cheap, and that's why they got it. They wanted a whole life policy. Okay, I'll put you in a UL. But they didn't tell him at 72 it's going to end. And my client found out. That's when I went out there and rewrote her and her sister with a whole life Occidental plan instead of a UL.
And make sure everybody understands a UL, which is universal life, and an IUL, index universal life. The index universal life follows the S&P.
Mm-hmm.
So if you understand the S&P 500 on the stock market, that's the reason why an IUL is better. But like they said, it's more expensive because basically it's a bigger policy. You got to put in more money. However, a UL, universal life, it's really a high class version of a term, but it's going to go away. And even though it's whole life, you're like, how's it going away? Because you have to keep funding it. What you heard the lady say, she had to add $10. And now she's got to add again. If you don't keep funding it, it's going to go away. Any questions on that?
Just because
Yeah.
cash value is not keeping up.
Right. Cash
Yeah.
value it doesn't match. It's not participating. It's like somebody went in and created and I always pay attention, like, okay, they went in and created this whole life policy and they made it cheap, but you don't get a good cash value off of it. So that's why it's so cheap. The money's going straight to the insurance and not to the insurance company's profits. So you don't get a good cash value.
Because the interest rates are low.
Right.
Yeah.
Are very low.
Yeah.
I got a question, Stacey. So are you saying that a UL and an IUL, they're selling their whole life policies, but they're not really whole life because at a certain age, you either start taking the money or you have to fund them?
It
Is
is a
that what
whole,
you're saying?
it's a permanent policy. A UL is a whole life policy. Well, they would say permanent, a universal life. It's just IUL is tied to the index. So remember, when you hear UL, remember there's one thing you should remember when you hear UL or IUL. It's gonna end. IUL ends at 66, and you start taking your payments because IUL is income. That's what it's for.
So
Let
their
you
whole life until a certain age.
correct, and then you
Is
start
that
taking
okay? That's what I'm trying to understand. So it's not really at that age you have to start taking payments or fund it some more.
right, correct.
But that's an IUL, not
That's
a
an
UL.
IUL.
I'm gonna
Well,
add
how
that
does
to
the
this
UL
is
work?
good. I'm gonna add that to the cheat sheet on the bottom. So when you guys come against people with the IUL, Stacy, that's very good plain English that people can
Yes.
understand. So I'm jotting that down. I want to add that to the cheat sheet for everybody.
Just
So
remember,
Kyle, what were you gonna say about the UL? Go ahead, Stacy. I'm sorry.
just remember the UL it is a whole life policy, but they end at 72. Well, IUL 66, UL 72. I didn't know this till my client came to me and told me, because I looked at a UL and I sold one a while back, and it didn't perform good in the cash value side because that's what they wanted it for. And I was like, ooh, this thing is terrible. But I found out that it ends at 72. And the agent ain't gonna tell them that. So when you hit some out of UL, so did your agent tell you that it's going to end at age 72 and you're going to have to get more insurance? And a lot of older people come to me. I had a guy that wanted an IUL. I was like, listen, man, let me show you something. And his wife, is this thing going to end at 66? Guess what? You're only going to have $500 a month coming to you from age 66 to 90. So just when you're talking to people with those IULs and ULs, if they're old, if they're older with a UL, say, ma'am, this is going to end at 72 and you're going to have to get more insurance. If they don't believe you, tell them to call the insurance agents or the company and explain the UL to them. So it is a permanent life insurance. It is a whole life, but it ain't the whole life because it's designed to take income at a certain age.
That's like an oxymoron.
Right,
This
I'm
whole
going
life
to say, I'm
not-
going to say, just
yeah.
right. I'm going to say, remember this: ULs are not good, especially, and I want to mean that for our clientele, because who really is our market, the senior market. So we're
Right.
looking at 50 and 85. If you're talking to somebody in that range and they got a UL, it's going away because
Yeah.
I can tell you this: they're not overfunding it.
Nope.
What does that mean? That means they need to be putting extra payments in there to keep it going. And more than likely, they're not doing it. So by the time they hit 72, like Stacy said, it's going away.
Yeah.
It's like the prime American concept. Pay a
Well,
little and then invest the rest, and you never
no,
do it.
well, but no, it's a good concept if you're young for the IUL.
Okay.
The UL is just if you they were selling those because they were cheaper than a whole life.
Okay.
Remember that they made these products so that they can service everybody. The IUL is good if you're young, but if you're old, it's not as bad unless you got the IUL is basically a retirement fund, a retirement plan. That's all the IUL is. It's a retirement plan. But the agents
Right.
sell them. The internet has went out there and had everybody saying, "Hey, I can do this, I can do that," but nobody explained to them you 50 years old, you can't get an IUL unless you got $100,000. It's not going to pay you out enough money at age 66. It stops at 66 and starts paying you at age 66 to age 90 in income. So if you do have a lot of money and you're old, it's a great place to put it. If you're young, it's great too because that by the time that person gets 66, they can have an income. They can retire and have two incomes if they have a job. So the UL was put in place for people that couldn't afford a whole life policy that they when I went back and did my research because that thing is very cheap. It's very cheap. So they sold it's a whole bunch of them y'all out there. I'm talking about a whole lot of them. I didn't realize that, but a lot of people have ULs and so when you're talking to your clients and they say they got insurance, you need to start saying, what do you have? Because they don't know they got a UL.
Right. That's very important because you might be talking to somebody and they say, "Oh, I already got whole life." And you're like, "Okay, great, you got whole life." Well, what type of whole life? And
That's right.
that's when you got to break it down to them because they say, "Oh, I got whole life." And when you ask them, "Hey, I do whole life," if you're not studied up, because that's what I'm getting ready to get into, if you ain't studied up, you don't know. You got a client right there you could be talking to, and they got a UL, a universal life, but you don't know that. You just listen to them say whole life. Oh, okay, they got what I'm selling. No, they don't.
No.
And that stops at 66, the UL, or
72.
72?
72. The
And then the
IUL.
IUL 66, right? Okay.
Right, but remember, the IUL stops and starts paying out. IUL
Okay.
because the IUL, you got to remember the index because the index is part of the S&P 500. Have you ever heard that before? If you never heard that,
I've heard of that.
right, the index,
I've heard of
the 500, the S&P 500, that's what the IUL operates off of. That's
Right.
why it's a money maker. But like right now, I'm 60 years old, so I only could put into it for 6 years. But I'd have to put in a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
What's the UL gonna do at 72?
It's gonna go away.
Die.
It just goes away. That's it.
Right, because your
Doesn't do nothing?
client, we already know right now, your client has not been overfunding it.
Yep.
So what does that mean? That means your client, they're just making their monthly payments, but they're not overfunding it. So with a UL, you have to put in extra payments.
So if you don't, at 66, you have no insurance, you have
60,
nothing.
no,
I mean,
72.
72, you
Yeah.
got nothing.
It's gone away.
It was designed, guys. Remember, people are cheap. Remember, people are cheap. Y'all, you have to remember this now. People are cheap. I want you to understand, people are cheap and broke. So they're gonna always go the cheap route. And they designed that UL, and that thing is cheap. I'm
Right.
talking about it's cheap.
It's a little bit better than a term policy.
Yeah,
So
that's all it is.
somebody that wants to say, oh, I don't want a term policy, I want whole life. Okay, I got one for you. It's a UL.
Well, what does it do for you? I just don't. I don't understand what it does.
People that when you got now, I didn't want to get to this, but I'll share this.
Oh yeah.
All right, so watch this. The insurance companies had to come up with a product to challenge the term because A.L. Williams was kicking everybody in the butt with buy term, invest the difference. A.L. Williams changed the industry. The reason why we basically have to do continuing education right now is because of A.L. Williams. Prime America. They messed up the whole insurance industry. You had people that had Merrill Lynch. You had people that had Prudential. You had people that had Mutual of Omaha. You had people that had all these policies. And when Art Williams went around and started saying buy term, invest the difference, a whole lot of people went out and got their insurance license, and they didn't know anything about insurance. All they did was go out and replace people's policies, and they messed up the industry. And when they did that, you had all these people out here selling insurance who had no clue of what they were doing. Buy term, invest the difference. And they messed it up. And so the insurance commissioners got together and came back and said, look, we can't have people running around like this that don't know what to do and talking about buy term, invest the difference. Because when you get your insurance license, you actually can sell what?
Insurance.
When you get your insurance license, what can you sell?
Whole life.
Insurance.
Everything.
You can sell everything.
Everything.
So why do you have all these people going around saying buy term, invest the difference? When you're an insurance agent, you can sell it all. But they had the AOL guys was so brainwashed or whatever, buy term, invest the difference. And guess what? They never invest the difference. So the insurance companies came up with a product called it a UL, which basically it was a whole life, but it was just a little bit, I don't want to say better, but a little bit different than a term policy because they were selling it as a whole life product. It wasn't term. And that's how they were able to combat A.L. Williams buy term, invest the difference by giving them a whole life.
And
But
you get more too,
kill 'em.
Kyle. That's why you're right. And you can get more than 35,000 with that thing. 50.
And they had to, it was almost the same way because they told them, and all you gotta do is just put some extra money in and it'll keep going. You have to overfund it.
Yeah.
And what do? They saw something in what these guys were doing, buy term, invest the difference, that this is what they were doing. They said could sell them a cheap policy, whole life, UL, and they knew they weren't going to invest the difference.
Yep.
So now they said, okay, we know they're not going to overfund it. So what does that mean? It's going to go away at 72. And what's that mean for the insurance company? Say it again, Lisa.
They made all that money and you got nothing.
Everybody get it. So that's why I said I didn't want to get into it, but that's really the insurance companies came up with something to battle buy term, invest the difference. Unfortunately. And like Lee said, they're going to have all that money. And guess what happens? That policy is going to go away. The insurance company made it to 72. What's the average age of American? What's the average age? What do we live up to?
Male or female, or
84, 86.
Yeah, 80-some years old. So at 72, it goes away. Guess what? They keep all the money.
But not just that.
Pays out.
Think about the concept, guys. If I'm an agent, I sold you a UL, and that's what happened to my new clients. What you think he's gonna do after a while? He's gonna come back and resell them something else, or the company's gonna come back and say, "Hey, your policy's about to end," and that's what they were upset about. Like, huh? Why y'all didn't tell me this at the beginning? They're not telling their clients that at the beginning. So just keep that in mind.
but you said it, Stacy. They're not telling them because people are focused on how much they're paying.
Yep.
I just got approached. I was at the store this morning, got approached by one of our clients that works in the store. And he said, I want to talk to you. Yeah. How, you know, I found another company that, you know, can give me they said they can give me a little, they can give me more, you know, and I said, oh my goodness. So, you know, I stood there at the door just talking to him and explaining to him, you know, first of all, you're not going to, nobody beats Lincoln, you know, in that industry right now. And it's, you know, I broke it down to him why customer service, and we pay within 24 hours. And he said, oh no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just asking. And I said, and then let me tell you about this one company. And I named the company. I said, you better be careful. You know, if somebody's approaching you, call us. We're going to tell you the truth. And he said, oh, don't worry, I ain't doing nothing. I just was curious about that. But they're looking at the dollar amount of what they're paying, period.
Yeah.
That's why they when they get those term policies, oh, I got 50,000 for $25, you know, and I'm like, that's a term policy. I'm identifying that's a term policy. I already know that, but that's going to go away. You're not going to have anything to show for it. And then I break it down to them this way. Some people don't understand all that lingo. I said, whole life, well, true whole life, not ULs and not IULs, but whole life is like buying a home. You can take equity out of it, do something with it. You got something to show for it. Whereas term policy is renting. Once you leave that property, you're done. You just put in all that money and it's gone. So they go, oh, they get that concept. So, you know, sometimes it's just taking us breaking it down to them because, and Stacy, that is, you know, that is great information. Like I said, I'm gonna put that on the cheat sheet. I'll have that sent out to y'all as soon as I can. And because that right there is powerful. Because when they tell us, oh, I got whole life, and you thinking, okay, well, man, you know, where you go from there, you got whole life, that's great. We know what the rebuttals is, but at the same time, it's like, what kind of whole life is it? That's the question. Is it
That's
a
the question.
UL? But they may not even know themselves.
They don't, and you almost need to get them on the phone with the company because a lot of people they sold a lot of these guys. I think Transamerica sold a whole bunch of ULs in the past. If they say they got Transamerica, say, listen, this can you do you have the policy and you need this? You'll be surprised. You'll get a bunch of sales out there if you can just ask them, can they find the policy? Can you call your company and see what you got? Because a lot of people don't know they have ULs and they don't know it's going to end.
Do you know off the top of your head maybe what companies are ULs that call themselves whole life? Because I will Google certain companies. I said they have a whole life, but they don't mention that it's a UL or IUL. So
A whole lot of them got ULs.
I'm
Majority
saying
of
on
the
the
company.
websites, they never mention, they just say a
Oh,
whole life guaranteed issue, something like that. But
yep,
who do
I
you
got
know? How do you know if they're really you know,
a
IUL
UL.
or UL?
Yeah, they got to call the company.
All the company. Okay.
Yeah, and it should be on it because I know UL. I know Occidental has a UL because Occidental does group and most if you got a group, they that's why they got the UL because they do group policies. It's the best policy for a business. They can get more and it's cheaper, and the company will like, yeah, we'll pay that, or they can pay that. But that's where a lot of the jobs those are ULs. And they know you're gonna retire before 72. So guess what? Boom, you out the door. So they got you. So um, but yeah, that's just asking that question. A lot of people don't know what they got, and if it's cheap, oh man, you might have a UL. If it's real cheap and they're old, if even if they just got it and they give you a cheap price, man, let's make sure that's not a universal life policy because it might end or accidental death. They're selling a lot of those.
You have AD&D. Your banks are usually doing that. You'll tell people, oh, I got a policy. I got 25,000, and come to find out it's an accidental and death policy.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that's why this is finishing up on this. I know we get close to that, but this is it. If you're serious and you if and only if you're serious, you'll do these things. Okay. Number one, study. Study the FCGS program. Why is this program so important? We talked about it. Lisa talked with a lady yesterday. She didn't even know what the FCGS program was. She's been with us since 2014. When we were at the Lincoln Heritage, the UBI, Lincoln Heritage and FCGS, what they say, only 17% of people that are Lincoln Heritage policyholders, only 17% know about the FCGS program. It's free. I see death claim leads, but they don't even check where they gave them the FCGS program. So are we doing that? Are we going the extra mile, making sure our people are getting that? You're going to study the selling cycle. You need to understand the selling cycle, the warm up, to get in there, to make some things happen. I'm going to have Lisa talk about something, real quick when we finish out here. Your presentation. You're going to study your presentation. You're going to be studied up, know exactly what to do, how to do it, where you're at, what's going on. You're going to study your territory. You know, you should have 3 counties that you should be working in. 3 counties. Study your territory. Know what's going on. Know where the things are. You should go to certain places where you eat at. Make sure you eat the same place over and over and over. Use the same stores over and over and over. I go into Dollar General or Dollar Tree all the time. Lisa's pulled 2 people out of there that she's recruited. We pulled clients out of there that basically that we've signed up as clients. And I go in there. I should go in Dollar General with a different shirt every day because I got like 80 shirts. And lady said, "How many companies you work for?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So yeah, every time you come in, you got a different shirt. It was just a different color Lincoln Heritage shirt. I signed the manager up because she saw mine. Do you have enough of these shirts? Go around with your paraphernalia. We're walking around at Park Fest. They saw us. We talked to them. We're getting clients. You know, also study and stay plugged in. Stay plugged in. It's like the light source, plugged in. We're plugged into Mr. President. We're plugged into Dr. Wilson. He's plugged into Lincoln Heritage. Stay plugged in. If you're away from it, you're away from electricity, you're not going to get it. Enthusiasm is caught. It's not taught. And last thing before we get out of here, I just want, you know, Lisa to talk about, you know, us being in the field, went an hour away, went to Greensboro, and I want you to tell me about Rochelle and your story with Rochelle.
Rochelle,
That's how you know you got too many clients.
I know the name, but I can't
Oh my
picture
goodness. That's how you know you got too many clients.
Which one was Rochelle? Oh Lord. Which one? Give me something.
If I give it to you, then there's no sense in telling the story.
Just tell me.
We went to Greensboro.
Yeah.
We just sold it in Greensboro the other day.
Which one was Rochelle though? If you give me a little something, I'll remember.
Chirac. She talked about Chirac, Chicago.
Oh, okay,
What she
Rochelle.
going through with her, right? With
Okay,
her
Rochelle. Okay, yeah, we sat on the porch, talking for a little while. I don't know why.
No, don't start like that.
Oh.
What happened when you first went to the
Oh,
door?
okay. We drove up, you know, Kyle sitting in the car and I got out, go to do the door knocking. And she came to the door and she said,
Hold on. And one thing I want you guys to know, Lisa and I, even though we're going out together, both of us don't go up to the door at the same time. When we're training, we'll do that with you. But right now, I'll go up to a door, she'll go up to a door. We don't go together when we're out there together. Everybody get that? She'll hit a door, I'll hit a door. But we do it. I'll stay in the car and I'll do work. And after that, she'll do. So that's why what you guys say, we're not going up there together, collective.
right. We don't want to intimidate them. So basically went to the door, knocked on the door, and she came to the door. And I said, introduced myself. I'm Lisa with Lincoln Heritage. And I held up my thing. You filled out this form and mailed it in. And she said, "Oh, today is not a good day." And you know, I can't remember what I said to her next, but she came out of the house. She just automatically stepped out of the house. And I just began to talk to her more about it. I said, "Yeah, you remember why you filled this out?" And she said, "Yeah, I do." And you know, and then she was talking like this, and she said, "Well, come on, sit down."
Now think about that. Think about that. What did she first say to Lisa? What did she first say to Lisa? Everybody get that? Did everybody get what Lisa just said? What did she first say to Lisa?
That she's not feeling well today.
There you go. How many of y'all would have walked away?
Today's not a good day. That's what she said. Today's not a good
How many
day.
of you would just turn, oh my goodness, I wasted another $33. And just because of your attitude. Your attitude will determine your altitude. Just because they're not having a good day, that don't mean you have to have a bad day. You've got to learn how to get to that third level of listening. Okay, go ahead, Lisa.
So she told me, go ahead. She had 2 chairs on the front porch and she said, "Oh, just okay, go ahead, sit down." So I sat down and I didn't start talking to her about the insurance anymore. She was just like, we just started talking. We just started talking. And
there you go. That's what I need everybody to hear. Lisa presented the lead. Is this you? Did you do this? Today's not a good day. Now, Lisa, they need to hear a transition. How did you go from today's not a good day till we just sat down? That's where people are missing it. That's where folks are not understanding. When you get that, how do you just not walk away from the lead and go away?
Well, I was listening to her when that was the first thing she said. So now I'm intrigued. Why is it not a good day? So I let her get that off her chest, and she just opened up and just started telling me stuff of why it wasn't, she didn't say why it wasn't a good day, but basically she was telling me, things that were going on in her life. And again, I just listened. I probably listened for a good 20
Now,
minutes.
now, Lisa, I need everybody to grab this because what you're saying is so much sales technique in what you're doing, and you don't even know what you're doing. But she's just being genuine. She's listening. Remember, the good Lord gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. So she's at the door. She's talking to her. The lady tells her today's not a good day. Most people would have walked. All right, no problem. I'm gone. Lisa stayed there. It was something about her that Lisa made. It was some discernment that she realized, that she recognized. And so she turned it from a sale to a conversation. And then when it went to a conversation, then the lady said to her, well, go ahead, sit down. Let's sit down. And Lisa's letting you know that she needed somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She didn't need a salesperson at that moment.
Yeah.
Everybody get that. So when you're going up there thinking every lead is a sale, stop thinking that. You don't know what this individual's going through. You don't know what they've experienced. You don't know what's happening. But you're going up there because, I got a sale. This is a sale. Which one needs a sale? I'm supposed to close 30% of these. And it's not just all about going up there, running up there, hitting the door. So go ahead, break it down, love. But I just need everybody to hear that, because if you're just trying to run leads and think it's a sale, the lead is not a sale. You have to have your skill set up so that you understand how to convert that from a lead to a sale.
Yeah.
And remember, it's conversational, not transactional.
Yeah. And sometimes it's going to take a look. Was Roy, you said something?
No, I didn't say anything.
Sometimes it's going to take a little longer than anticipated, and that's the listening part. So I'm hearing her and what she's saying, not just jumping in, giving my opinion and stuff. I'm listening, and that's a skill too, to be able to listen and hear what the person is saying, and eye contact. Let you're really listening to what they're saying. That moves mountains. I'm finding out, that's for me in ministry too. We've learned how to listen and not be so quick to say, oh, well, they say something and you jump on that. No, listen through the whole thing and just listen. And by the time I finished letting her talk, then, obviously the minister in me came out, and we just, I gave her some words of encouragement and scripture and stuff like that. And I still didn't go back to it. She went back to. She said, "Okay, let's talk." Now she's perky like this, and this is just her. This is her body language. She was like, "Okay." She had the pamphlet in her hand because I handed it to her before we sat down. So she had it. She said, "Okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this." She brought us back to it because I let her talk. And she, was feeling good at this point, and I'm listening and everything like that. So she brought us back to this, and I started to go over it with her. And she didn't let me know that she had not True Stage, what I think Royal Neighbors, and my face went like this. But she's had it for a long time. Come to find out, she's modified now with us. So I recommended that she keep that policy because she's had it, before she was modified. I said, well, go ahead and keep that. And she said, yeah, I do talk to him every now and then, make sure everything is. I said, that's good. I said, keep that. And basically I gave her some quotes. And she, after I explained the FCGS, she said, I really do like that. And again, we started talking some more. And then she said, well, I'm gonna get some, because I don't want you to walk away empty handed. That's what she said to me. And I was like, I'm thinking, she doing this for me? No, you ain't doing it for me. But because you know what you like, what you heard. But she said, I'm, because she was so appreciative. She said, I'm going to get some more because I don't want you to walk away empty handed. I said, well, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I will never feel like I'm walking away empty handed because I've presented to you just like I do the gospel. It's what you do with it. It ain't on me. It's going to be on you. I flipped it on her. I said, trust me, whether you got it or not, I was going to be okay. Because when I get up in the morning, I'm talking to her just like this, but I get up in the morning, I pray and ask the Lord to send me to who you want me to send, who you want me to talk to about this information and lead the way. So she was like, "Oh, I hear you. I got you. Okay." You know, like I let her know, you ain't doing me no favors. You doing yourself a favor, but in a nice way. Y'all get that? I let her know in a nice way. But she was like, "Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm getting some." So she got, I think she got 2,000 with us because she had a 10,000 with Royal Neighbors, and she got 2,000 with us because that was what was in her budget. And basically, she was good to go with that. So, and then by the time we finished, I brought Kyle. Kyle, come and meet our newest family member. And she was like, when she said to Kyle, "I am so glad I didn't turn you away." She was like, "I am so glad that I wasn't one of those people that just shooed you away." She said, "Because I have enjoyed our conversation. I have enjoyed just speaking with you and talking with you." And then Kyle came up and just that was just icing on the cake, because she was like, "Y'all two are something else." She said we were like Barack Obama, Michelle and Barack Obama.
And I think we stayed there for another half hour talking
Another
to her.
half an hour
Yeah,
talking.
another half an hour talking to her. Yeah, but I mean,
Because
it's a
we had some
beautiful.
light banter, like, "No, you ain't the best cook," or something, something simple like that. And she started cracking up laughing. She said, "Y'all acting like Michelle and Barack Obama right now when they did that. Who's the better cook? Who's the better thing?" So we just had a good time, But she was so appreciative that we, embraced her.
And one of the things that I got to share with you most, because that was outstanding, just watching Lisa at work. I took a picture and I didn't show it to you guys. I'll put it in the group chat today so you can see it. But I wanted you guys to hear the story, because not only was it that Lisa, she didn't even go into it. There was some deeper stuff that was in there that her and Lisa talked about. And I just want to share with you, sometimes these people just need somebody to talk to. And, just tell the story about, her granddaughter and what's happening with that and everything, and how it actually got to that level.
Oh my goodness. Her daughter, well, she's told me that she was a woman of the world. She was in them streets. She was, back in the day. She's a woman of faith now. She's a believer and everything now. But back in the day, it wasn't like that. And her daughter, her granddaughter is now living with her right now, because she basically told the granddaughter to come live with her, because the mother, her daughter, told the granddaughter, "I wish you were dead." Yeah, I mean, she was saying some other stuff. She said, "I've been praying for her." Talking about her daughter, she said, "I've been praying for my daughter, and she just got, like, she basically said she got the devil in her. She got the devil in her." And I was like, I told my granddaughter, "Come stay with me," because, she's 17 years old, and she says she's a quiet spirit and everything like that.
The
And,
second time. The
huh?
second time. This the second time she asked her to stay with her.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
second time, because she went back to her mother. And then now she said, "Look, come back to stay with me." Can you imagine this family?
Yeah.
I can't imagine telling that to my daughter, "I wish you were dead." I can't imagine saying that to my son, "I wish you were dead." These are
That's
our clients, y'all.
that's deep. That's
And
deep.
what did the little girl say? What did the little girl say
Oh, she
about it?
was in the house. We were out on the porch.
Oh, but what did the grandmother say? You remember what the grandmother said? What the little girl said?
She said when she cried profusely, and what did
She
she say?
said she said to grandma, "If you go away, I'm gonna kill myself."
Oh yeah, yeah, she said that.
She
That's what
said,
the
"Grandma,
granddaughter said.
if you go away, I'm dead."
So
Wow.
Can y'all imagine that?
the minister and me came out. I was like, "Listen, give her my number." And she
Mm.
said, "Well, she's not just gonna call you." I said, "That's not what I'm saying. She needs to know who I am anyway." So she brought it to the door, introduced her to me. But I'm like, I'm like, oh my goodness, Lord, if something happened to this woman, she needs this little girl she's 17, but very meek and mild young lady. That's why I know God's got a plan and purpose for her life, because dealing with something like that, and you still can smile, and you still can, but you just never know what these people are going through. You just never know.
And you talk about, what are we studying in church right now? You guys don't know, but
Oh
Joy
yeah.
knows. But what are we studying right now? We're studying life. We had somebody in our church,
Commit suicide.
son committed suicide.
Yeah.
Committed suicide.
Last month.
Yeah, last month.
Yep.
I mean, you would think this is a beautiful family. I mean, everything going on. You would never suspect something like that in their family. And the son took his life.
They got money, they got prestige, they got all of that.
Yes.
He had a doctorate degree. I mean, just everything you think is perfect, and he took his life.
And then we're in the field talking to folks like this who are our clients. And
Yeah.
then the granddaughter's like, "Look, if something happens to you, grandma, I'm dead."
She said she was gonna harm herself. Yep.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
So we're more than insurance agents. We're counselors. We're advisors. We're basically we're informative. I mean, it's you know, I mean, I was just trying to think like, what can we do? How can we get something to this young girl? How do you rescue somebody? She's 17. She's just starting to begin life. She's talking about ending it.
Mm.
This is what we do, y'all.
Yeah.
If you're going out there with commission breath, you're not going to understand it. You're going to miss those opportunities. That's an opportunity. And again, Lisa said to minister, whatever, but I mean, it just hurt me to my heart. 17-year-old young lady. And like Lisa said, she's meek, she's up with she's whatever, but her mother said, I wish you were dead. Crazy. And I know we're not supposed to go there in this or whatever, but I mean, this is part of what we do. It's part of what we do. But like Lisa said, now it's like, hey, look, you need to know us. You know who we are. You got any questions, anything, call us. Let us know. She's in Greensboro. Hour away. But that was a lead. That was a divine intervention right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Lisa paid $33 for that divine intervention.
I gotta go, guys, because I gotta get out the car. That was a good story, Lisa. Thanks. That's inspiring.
Go get him, Bernina.
Okay.
Go get him, Bernina. Go, Bernina, go.
I'm in Atlantic City. This ain't my favorite place, but I love
go. And oh, by the way, we got more leads in Atlantic
City. By
City.
faith, not by sight.
That's what I'm doing. But you know what? I'm brave, but I'm not crazy. So I'm still
call us if you need us. But hey, look, I just want to end on this, but I just want you guys to understand it. I don't want to end on a negative, but I want you guys to say that this is what we go through. This is what we do. This is why we love what we do. It's more than just insurance. Once again, what you love, your passion, what you're good at, your vocation, what the world needs, your mission, what you can be paid for, your passion. So again, basically study your craft, get better every day, constant improvement, Kaizen. But we leave on this. Our goal is 60K this month, 75 applications. How much of this will you commit to? All right. How much of this will you do and commit to? Commit. Do what you said you would do. Again, 60K is our goal. 75 applications. Set yourself up right now. What do you want to commit to that? What are you going to do? Write it down and then go attack that. Attack that goal. Attack your lack before your lack attacks you. And we do have leads. We have leads. You need opportunity. Remember what I talked about today. The power you have needs an opportunity to come out. The power within you, it needs an opportunity to come out. Lincoln Heritage and UBI, Firm Foundation, is an opportunity to get the power out of you, to pull it out of you, make you search, make you find it, make you implement it, but empowering you. Stacey, you got anything in closing?
Yeah, you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
There we go. Dear God, I will encourage everybody, write down your money goal for the month that you want to make, that you need an income so you can pay your bills, you can get out there, you'll feel better, hit those money goals. And also, like Kyle said, practice, know your craft. I was at the door, how I got in that door yesterday, Roy, and made that sale, guys, was that the clients, they could not pay the next month. Remember, that sale's closed. I said, listen, we can write it up right now, and you can start next month with the payment. So, if somebody would have said, hey, I'll come back. Nope, I drove. That was a 2-hour ride. I'm not coming back down there. I'm gonna get this out the way now. When I come back, I'm gonna deliver the policy and get some referrals and knock on some more doors. So, but also it builds a pipeline for next month. So just people are at this point, everybody's looking for insurance. They're looking for a final expense insurance, and like you said, the leads, you gotta grab those leads. And then, in another county I work, I'm gonna go 2 hours out. I haven't been 3 hours out in a minute, but I need to go back down that way. Every now and then I take that 3-hour ride and just run leads. You'll be surprised. So, guys, study your craft. I would say, find your number you need to make every month, and let that be the foundation of how much money you need to make and replace your income. Other than that, guys, listen, let's hit those goals. Let's have fun doing it. I know it's raining down here. I don't know what it's doing in Charlotte.
It's raining in Charlotte.
It's
raining,
pouring
sure.
down. It's like,
Yep.
what in the world?
Yeah, it's raining down here too. Lisa, you got anything in closing real quick?
No, I just wish more people were able to hear this. I'm glad you recorded it. Study your craft. Like I said, I'll put that on the cheat sheet. If you guys are meeting us in Columbia, we'll see you in Columbia. And look forward to me driving my car back, and I may let y'all sit in it for a minute. And there you go.
Make sure you register.
I love it, Lisa.
Yeah. Make sure you guys register for the event if you're going.
Yeah, outstanding. We'll see you guys down there. Everybody be safe. God bless. All right, be safe. Call us if you need it.
Be safe.
Bye-bye now. Get some leads.
Yes, sir.